Hello everyone, I hope you're well. I have just come back from my Camino de Santiago. I did the Portuguese route, starting on the coastal route and then moving into the central route. And you can see from my other video, my kind of packing video for before I went on my Camino. And I thought it would be useful kind of post Camino to show you what I think are some of the most important things that you should bring along with you and things that I used on a regular basis whilst I was walking. So let's get started. One of the most important things, apart from your backpack being really good, and also try and wear your backpack before you go on your Camino and test it with some weight in there, and kind of adjust the straps accordingly, or go into the shop where you bought your bag and get it kind of almost fixed in position for you and your body, because that is super important to make sure you don't have any backache. So I would recommend that first. The other thing I would recommend, and a lot of people didn't have this, is some sort of small bag that you can have close to you while you're walking. So I found, obviously this is just this classic Uniqlo bag, but anything kind of similar to this would be really good. And I found that this was really helpful to have, like my phone, my money, some tissues, like just those, my Camino passport as well. So those key essential things that you just will need like close to you quite regularly, and that you don't want to have to keep taking your backpack off, rustling through your bag to like try and find those key things. So I found this super helpful. What else? Also, I haven't got it out right now, but I actually found having a water bladder really useful. I'd never walked or hiked with one of those before. It was my first time using it, and genuinely it was like the best thing, because again, you didn't have to stop, take your backpack off, get your water bottle out all the time. And also it is super lightweight, so you don't have to carry some sort of bottle which is going to add more weight to your bag. And I also found that I was drinking probably more regularly than I would, but I was taking smaller amounts, which helped with bathroom situations. So I would definitely recommend that. Another thing which I actually had at home but didn't bring with me and ended up buying is Tiger Balm. Now, I had issues with my feet when I was walking from a kind of tendon and muscular point of view rather than just the classic blisters. And this honestly was a lifesaver, but I think you could probably use this like every day as you're kind of setting up before you go, in those kind of more problematic areas anywhere on your body. And genuinely this stuff is amazing. So I would definitely recommend this. Another thing which I bought whilst I was there was a Vaseline. Like every single local who has done multiple Caminos told me, cover your feet in Vaseline the night before when you go to bed and in the morning before you put the socks on. And genuinely, it really helps with the blister situation. So yes, I would definitely recommend that. On the topic of blisters, I bought multiple packs of these Compeed blister kind of packs. And honestly, the ones that I recommend the most are these little ones here. I mean, they were the ones that helped me the most with, I had serious issues on my little toes. And they were the only ones that particular size that fit properly on that problem area. So these are, despite the price, definitely worth bringing with you. These were super helpful, just these little wet wipes. Honestly, just being like on the go, if you need to like wash your hands, or yeah, honestly, just super helpful. Like if you get a bit muddy in places as well, it's just quite easy to like clean up afterwards. I mean, these would be typical, and I didn't actually stay in hostels, but definitely recommend some earplugs. Even in the hotels I stayed in, the noise on multiple occasions was incredibly loud. So I recommend getting earplugs whether you're staying in hostels or not, because I don't know what it is in kind of Spanish and Portuguese hotels, but the sound travels immensely and it's quite frustrating when you're exhausted, and I'm a very light sleeper, so I struggle to get to sleep without these. What else? I actually brought this little cutlery set with me, and this was actually useful. Primarily because I used to go to the supermarkets in the morning and buy like fresh bread and then some sandwich fillings, and this was just quite helpful for kind of making sandwiches on the go. So yes, I wouldn't say I used it loads, but definitely worth bringing. Another kind of random one, but I am not a cap wearing girly. right? And I wore this every single day. It became like part of my identity. And yeah, I would just recommend this, especially if you're a girl with long hair and you don't want to put your hair up all the time. I just found that this was a great way to have my hair down but keep it off my face while I'm walking. So a bit of a random one, but I do recommend bringing a hat with you to protect from the sun as well. This was, again, a little bit more specific to me, but halfway through my foot was really hurting, so I bought this like foot compression sock. Ignore the stains, that's Tiger Balm. So yeah, that was helpful. I know I did actually bring a knee compression sock as well. I didn't end up using that, but it's worthwhile kind of bringing along things like this if you think that you might struggle with certain areas of your body. And I did actually use this quite a lot, which is my bag cover. So I say a lot, it wasn't that often, but definitely at the start. The weather was a little bit more wet and this protected my bag. And also, with it being so bright, when you're walking along those main roads, which I was leaving Porto, this is fantastic for like making sure that cars can see you from a distance. So there's also that element as well. And then finally, although these were quite problematic for me, it's having a spare pair of shoes. So these are problematic in the way that I didn't use them in the correct way. I used these to swap my trainers whilst I was walking for multiple hours, and that gave me severe issues in my tendons. However, having a pair of open toe light shoes for when you're finished walking for the day and you're just kind of wandering around getting dinner or whatever it might be, you want your feet to breathe. Like, you need to give them that time to breathe because they are probably going to be covered in blisters. So I would definitely recommend bringing a very, very light pair of like sandals or something similar. But honestly, that is everything that I would recommend. Like, in terms of clothing, I felt like I brought enough of the right stuff for the climate that I was walking in. I was walking in kind of March, April time, and I was blessed with like primarily sun the whole time, but it was still quite cool, especially in the morning. So if you're wanting to know what kind of clothes I brought, then you can check out my other video, which highlights all of those things. But yeah, this is kind of things that I definitely used and would highly recommend if you are planning your Camino moving forward.